Felix Tshisekedi has been re-elected as
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Democratic Republic of Congo's Interior Minister.
Welcome viewers. Today, we explore the overlooked crisis that is occurring right now in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is a nation that has been marred by decades of war and conflict, and a place where the struggle for resources and power has left an indelible mark on the land and its people. After decades of fighting for control across the eastern regions of the country, over 6 million people are now dead and even more have been displaced. More recent fighting along the borders has even drawn in neighboring troops alongside the mercenaries and militias already there. At least 80% of those displaced live in provinces that have been overrun by armed groups and mercenaries, all seeking a share of the region's resources. Making sense of all this mayhem is not as easy as it might seem. So to better understand the gravity of the current situation, we must first delve into the historical roots of the crisis. A century of exploitation from colonial powers, followed by land grabs after the Cold War, shaped the narrative of this African country and plagued it with violence. The hunger for Congo's minerals has been a relentless force, leaving scars of the past that still haunt the nation today. Congolese rubber, ivory, and precious minerals enriched the coffers of colonial powers, and following the Cold War, China, neighboring African countries, and other Western nations all came into the room looking for a piece of the pie. For a long time, the Congolese people and their labor was ruthlessly exploited, their bodies brutalized, their villages plundered, their women raped, and civilians murdered. Fast forward to today, and the eastern region of the Congo is a battleground for over 100 armed groups and several national armies. The M23 rebels clash with the Congolese army daily, whilst the people of the region endure the unprecedented brutality of conflict. On one side is the M23, a well-organized but ruthless rebel group that the United States and the United Nations say is backed by Rwanda, Congo's eastern neighbor. Since October 2023, the M23 has seized the main roads into Goma, the regional capital, as well as the hilltops overlooking Sake, 10 miles to the west. On the other side is Congo's army, whose troops are notoriously ill-disciplined. Even as fighting raged near Sake, drunken soldiers careened through its streets. The strength of the Congo army has, however, been recently boosted by two new allies. One is the Wazalendo, Swahili for Patriots, a coalition of once rival militias that the government cobbled together to repel M23, despite the fighters' reputation for factionalism and brutality. The second is a force of about 1,000 Romanian mercenaries, many formerly with the French Foreign Legion, deployed around Goma and Sake. If M23 tries to seize the city, as it briefly did once in 2012, the Romanians are charged with defending it. Many of the millions who have fled their homes have ended up living in one of the squalid camps that have sprung up around Goma. A sea of rough huts that are fashioned from sticks and tarpaulins expand across plains littered with sharp lava rocks. Foul-smelling sludge runs between shelters. Disease outbreaks threaten, food is scarce, and the World Food Program says it only has enough to feed 2.5 million of the estimated 6 million people going hungry in eastern Congo. The toll on civilians is staggering. Disease, starvation, and rampant sexual assaults plague the squalid camps around Goma. A spokeswoman for the organization said that in the border North Kivu region alone, it has treated at least 18,000 sexual assault cases this year. Aid groups struggle to draw attention to the suffering in a country of about 100 million people. It's heartbreaking, and the scale of the crisis compared to others globally is overwhelming. The involvement of foreign powers in Congo's conflicts is undeniable. From colonial exploitation to a more recent Chinese influence, the nation's resources have been both a curse and a blessing to its people. Outsiders have initiated or worsened the situation for decades, supporting various factions whilst pillaging the country's mineral wealth. Rwanda, especially, has backed numerous rebel forces and used Congo's resources to rebuild its post-genocide economy. The global demand for minerals such as cobalt has further intensified conflicts, with China being the most recent nation to play a significant role in the exploitation of Congo's most precious resource. Roughly 70% of the world's supply of cobalt comes from the southern Democratic Republic of Congo, and it has vast reserves of this critical mineral. It is a key component in batteries powering our smartphones, laptops, and more. Cobalt is built into most lithium-ion batteries in electric devices to help prevent them from catching on fire. If you have a smartphone, laptop, tablet, or an electric car, your device is likely to contain the mineral cobalt, which was very likely mined in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The price of cobalt has also risen rapidly over recent decades, and it has quickly become one of the most sought-after minerals for the world's major tech companies. With electric vehicle sales soaring, e-technology remaining popular, and no major new source of cobalt on the horizon, the demand from Congo will continue. China, a major player in the global cobalt trade, now has a significant presence in eastern DRC. Chinese companies connected to Beijing control the majority of foreign-owned cobalt, uranium, and copper mines there. As China's economic ties with Congo deepen, the risks and consequences for the Congolese people intensify. And as the world continues to clamor for this coveted mineral, the economic disparity within Congo deepens, and despite sitting on trillions of dollars worth of resources, more than 60% of Congolese still live below the poverty line. As Congo holds its national elections in December of 2023, political tensions are as high as ever. Candidates face attacks, and international observers raise alarms about corruption in the Electoral Commission. The political landscape is fractured, and the potential for violence always looms large. The elections could be a turning point for the country, but they are more likely to be another catalyst for further conflict. Unlike a decade ago, the response from the global community is divided. The United States criticizes Rwanda's intervention, while the UK remains largely silent, dealing with its own set of issues and a current political partnership with Rwanda. Although the UN, the African Union, and African sub-regional bodies sponsored several plans to establish stability and a framework for a new political order, their efforts were hindered by the competing interests of their members and the failure to address the underlying causes of local conflicts. The lack of a unified response hampers efforts to bring stability to the region, and the geopolitical dynamics are complex, meaning that finding a solution requires a concerted international effort. Amid such chaos, maintaining even a smidge of democracy is hard. Congo's vast mineral wealth has always contrasted starkly with the economic struggles of its people. It's a tragic paradox that, whilst the world benefits from Congo's resources, the Congolese people themselves endure economic hardship and a daily struggle to obtain basic necessities. Within Congolese society, the scramble for cobalt has fueled violence, corruption, and social unrest. Armed groups exploit the lucrative trade, perpetuating conflict, tormenting communities, and deepening the humanitarian crisis. As we conclude this journey into the heart of Congo's crisis, it's imperative to explore avenues for hope and change. What can be done to alleviate the suffering of the people and pave the way for a more stable and prosperous future? There is no doubt that instability in Congo is the product of both internal and external factors. Long-standing political, economic, and social inequalities, the legacies of colonial practices, and the determination of political and economic elites to protect their power and wealth have led to mass exploitation. Congo's mineral riches attracted the attention of outsiders who simply looted the country's wealth to build their own. It's crucial going forward to ponder a future where the exploitation of Congo's resources is balanced with the well-being of its people and the preservation of its environment. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, but a collaborative international effort, addressing the root causes of the conflict and empowering local communities can make a significant difference. Addressing economic disparities is crucial for long-term stability. The crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo demands our attention, empathy, and action. As global citizens, we have a collective responsibility to stand with the Congolese people, advocate for peace, and work towards a future where this crisis is overlooked no more. Want to know how you can help or have any suggestions for our future videos? Then drop a comment below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you want to learn more about the hidden global stories that impact us all.